All right. We're a little bit early, but who gives a shit? It's my show, live in the Boneyard, Tuesday night, man. We have
Yeah,
Hydrogen. Please introduce yourself, my friend. Tell us where you're
absolutely.
from and your
My name
band.
is Jeff Westlake. I'm the guitar player and founding member of the band Hydrogen.
Now, you guys have been around a bit, actually. 2002 or something like that?
Yeah, technically, actually got fired up in September of 2003. The band was made official in January of 2004. And as soon as the band was made official and we put everything together, things just took off. I mean, really took off like a bat out of hell. And it's been going ever since. There's been little bumps in the road here in the last 7 years or so, but
Of course.
things are still good and everything's great.
Yeah. Oh, we got some hellos here. Yeah, yeah. Right away.
Nice.
Everyone's jumping on today. We're a little early, but thanks everyone for watching. Hollywood,
Absolutely.
she's one of our number one fans right at the moment. Her and Kevin. Now,
Nice.
before we go into just some shooting the shit and stuff, you guys were picked up by Pepsi in 2005 for NASCAR or something.
Yeah, we had a run. We went into the studio when we finally finalized the lineup of the band and started playing,
Hmm.
which was January of '04. A rep from Pepsi had seen us, and he came to me and said, "Hey, we want to do some work with you guys." And I mean, they were serious about it. I didn't know how serious it was going to be, but they were serious about it. They shot a couple professional videos for us and took us on the NASCAR circuit, and we're playing in front of like 250,000 people at the Richmond 400 in
Yeah.
May of '05. Um, and we just did a lot of great work, and from that came another sponsorship with an apparel company with NASCARs called Off the Rim. Um, and then right after that, Budweiser hopped on board.
What?
So,
That's all right,
so
man. I always get harassed here in Canada about drinking my Bud Light. It's nice to hear that a Bud sponsorship has come through for somebody.
Budweiser really got on board. The local Budweiser people in our area back then really got on board and stuck us in the studio with one of the biggest producers on the face of the earth, by the name of Michael Wagner, who'd worked with Skid Row and Ozzy and Janet Jackson and Accept, and the list goes on. Metallica. I mean, the list goes on and on. And
Yeah.
so, I mean, it really like I said, when we shot out of a cannon, we shot out and it just went from there.
No, that's awesome. I got to give a huge shout out to Nick. This is one of my brothers right here. I met him up in Valhalla of all places.
That's a great place to meet.
You know what I mean? So him and his brother, they also do music and shit. They've been on the show a couple times since I met them and stuff. Huge shout
Nice.
out to them, right? So, but your new album just come out just 2020 here, no?
Yeah, the boiling point.
Yes. Let's dabble just a bit into that. Like that's we were sitting and chilling tonight when I first got home. I finally had some time to sit and listen to your music and stuff, right? And
Right?
it was it caught me, man. I like it. I like pretty well every song that came on. You only threw on the one cover, I believe. Is there one cover? Am I right or no?
There's that. As far as I know, there's three covers on the album. I haven't seen
Oh,
a
okay.
copy of the release lately, but um,
Yeah.
you have One Way or Another from Blondie, which we heavied up and actually kind of put a real Dio kind of spin on it.
Ooh,
Um, and then you have uh, Mad World. Um,
yeah.
from way back in the day, we did a very haunting version of that, and actually, the Mad World video is going to debut this Friday.
Hmm.
Um,
Oh, that's awesome, man.
and Suspicious Minds from Elvis Presley.
No way.
Yeah,
I didn't hear that. I'm gonna definitely go spend a bit more time when I decided not to cook before the show tonight
right.
because last time I did a show it was actually with a band out of Sweden that Sam sent my way as well, right?
Mhm.
And I was cooking dinner while I was interviewing and making bread. I was cooking this and that. I was like, it was too much on the go, man. You know.
Right, right.
So,
But
but oh, go
Elvis
ahead.
never knew his stuff could be so heavy. Suspicious Minds is
No.
really heavy.
Oh, that'll be the first song I put on when I fire the barbecue up. Then I'll
There
definitely
you go.
check that out. So, we do have a playlist on Spotify. It's all the bands that have been on the Boneyard, and you guys. I added a few of your songs today off of
Sure,
Spotify up on there. So when
sure.
people are checking our stuff out, you guys are on there. They'll be able to hear it and stuff. So,
Great. Thank you very much.
where do we find your music, bud? Like, is it
Oh
everywhere and
wow.
anywhere?
Yeah, it's everywhere. I mean, all the normal haunts that you go to, Amazon.com, iTunes, Spotify,
Mhm.
Google. I mean, any place you can go to buy physical copies, it's there. Um, Hydrogen is on RFL Records, and we're distributed through AMP Distribution, so it's all over the world. It's every place. Should the only way you're going to have a problem finding it is if we've sold out and we're waiting for a reshipment or something. But it should be there in all the digital sites.
Yeah, right. That's cool, man. It's do you guys obviously back in the day when you first started and jamming and stuff, internet really wasn't what it is now, you know what I mean? So have you have you liked the direction that has gone or are you guys
No musician likes the direction of what the internet's done to music. Um,
all right?
it really, really put an amp on your pockets. But when we first started out, we took major advantage of the internet. We were one of the first bands that, because of the internet and because of the fact that we did things on our own, um, we got picked up by a major distribution company in Europe for Bombshell, which is our first superficial release. It was the album that was produced by Michael Wagner. Um, and so the internet helped catapult us very much. I mean, as far as this band goes, we've kind of been on the ride or, riding the wave of the internet from the very beginning of what the internet eventually became now. But, so it's kind of a bittersweet thing for me. It's kind of like, hey, you're taking money out of my pocket, but God knows, how many people did I
Yeah,
sell records to? And, because of that and the fact that, the internet launched us right into some major tours,
good
3 tours
sponsors
of
right
Europe
away,
and
right?
do what?
Oh, Europe. Whereabouts in Europe did you guys end up
Everywhere.
touring? Everywhere,
Everywhere,
the
man.
whole.
And the internet did all that. I mean, it helped us hook up with a guy over in the UK who is a very close friend of mine, became a close friend of mine because of that. His name's Ian Glenn Wright. He runs a promotions and touring company there called Rocket Ride Promotions.
Oh shit,
Ian's
eh?
one of Ian's good, tight family members used to be involved in the UFO camp. He helped with
Oh,
management and stuff like that at UFO. So Ian was a big player in that. And then, of course, the distribution company we got was in France. And next thing you know, we're in Scotland, we're in the UK, we're in France, we're in Belgium, we're in Sweden, or not Sweden, but Switzerland and Italy.
yeah.
All that happened just like that, And so it's all because of the internet. So I'm not going to bitch too much.
No, I hear you there. Like it's no different than me. I'm on my way to South Africa here to cover a metal show. I'm gonna be on 3 different shows while I'm there as well, right? And
Right.
then I have the tour to go across and interview these people and that people. But if it wasn't for the internet, I wouldn't have that show, right? Like this
Exactly.
wouldn't be here right now in that sense. So
You got to figure out what order it's going to be in. Is it going to be piss and then moan, or is it going to be moan then piss? But you're going to piss and moan regardless.
you know what?
So,
I'll probably moan until I have to piss, and then I'll take a piss, and then it'll be all good for a bit. And then when you start feeling that
absolutely.
pressure again, fucking. So obviously, as like, do you work full time then too? Like a lot of the guys and a lot of the bands and stuff in general I work with, they all work full time, and then I see your hard hat in the background. Looks like you got a work locker behind you, right?
Yeah, we do. You do a lot of different things, especially when COVID hit. You
Mm,
know, when the whole pandemic happened and the shutdown happened, you better have some kind of skill set. And luckily for me, I have a skill set other than music, but I still do music full time. Music really never slowed down. I mean, I just finished producing an album for a band in New Zealand by the name of Mojo Alice.
Oh, no way.
Yeah,
Mojo Alice?
yeah, you should ask Sam to get them on. She's connected with
Oh,
them as well. But
oh, I'll
I
be
did
talking to Sam again. Don't worry.
they're a phenomenal band. I'm talking just a great band. They've got a female lead singer who's got an incredible voice. The band's incredible.
Yeah.
I did 2 albums for them this year. I did a remix and remaster for their debut album called Liquid Sin, which is on RFL Records right now. And their new album, which I can't really divulge any information on. It'll be out probably sometime around March, April of 22, but it's done and in the can, and it's quite the album.
Yeah. Eh? No,
Yeah.
that's a little bit of news to look forward to, you know. But
Yeah.
you guys are also a female fronted band, and I'm finding I would probably say it's probably 50-50 now. That bands I've interviewed, it's a female frontman in that sense, you know what I mean? Or that lead singer, right? And it's nice to see that. Like, how did you decide we don't want a dude screaming, man, we want her? Like, how did that come about?
Well, it's really kind of funny how it came about. So I was married to this chick who was a country singer. And serious country singer, and she had just this insanely great voice, and we were doing the thing with Hydrogen, and we were trying to find a singer to get ready to do a couple of shows in January of 04, and it just wasn't happening. And so we had 2 weeks left before the shows. The band was rehearsed, but no singer. Well, she didn't know the first thing about rock music. She listened to Faith Hill and Martina McBride and stuff like that. And that's really what she did. And so we, Jeff Boggs and I, Jeff is the other guy that formed the band with me. We put it together. We approached her and said, "Look, here's what's going on." And she looked at me and she said, "Make me a CD of what you want the show to be. Print me out all the lyrics and leave me alone for a week, and then we'll rehearse for a week." And I was like, "Sure." And I was like, this is never going to happen, right? And so we let her do her week, and then we got together for rehearsals for a week, and the rehearsals were scary good. And we were like, okay, all right. And so the first set of shows, the first Friday night, we hit the stage. And when we came back the next night, the Saturday night to follow, there was a line out the door and around the block.
Wow.
I mean, they'd never seen a chick come in and do Rainbow in the Dark into from Dio into Still the Night from Whitesnake. They've never seen a chick do that before. And she's nailing all those notes. I mean, the girl, we divorced in 14. But the whole time that we played live and toured stuff together, I can honestly say I never heard her pull off of a note, cut a note, not hit the note, voice break, be sharp or flat. It was just scary.
Dead on every time. It's like,
that's
hard
why.
to do too. Like,
I mean, and she didn't have a problem. She didn't have some little substance abuse problem over here or a drinking problem over here. And she didn't do any kind of drugs, but she did drink. But she was professional as hell. She always was professional as hell. And so that was the whole decision. And then I was like, wow, this is really cool. And at that time, that wasn't happening. We didn't have In This Moment and Hailstorm and all those bands out there yet. The only band we had really going out there was Nightwish and Lacuna Coil.
Yeah. Now you've got like Late Night Trouble. Yeah. Your Last Wish out of Montreal. Like, oh shit, we just had them on the band. It's gonna pop out of my brain because I'm trying to say it. I'll come to me later, man. But they're out of Australia. Another great fucking female fronted band. Like, there's Cross Dog here in out of Peterborough, punk band for female fronted. One of the best shows I've seen in a bar. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was actually the last show I seen when COVID happened. It was their birthday bash with Ship of Fools. The Reddies played. We have a fantastic female bass player. Even like she busted out this solo while she was there. Like, it was just phenomenal. And like,
that we got forced into a female. It wasn't any grandiose plan. It wasn't like we sat down with the with the
We're
blueprint.
gonna.
Here we go. It didn't
Right?
happen that way. Can't take any credit.
Yeah. Hey man, what do you do though? Music is life though. Like you're gonna do it regardless.
Right. Absolutely.
So
Music
when
is the
did
only thing that
you
transcends the entire planet.
yeah. When did you decide or learn or come to the conclusion that music is gonna be my main passion in life, right?
I think I was about 6 months old.
Serious, that young,
Yeah.
eh?
Yeah. I'm 55.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I've been playing guitar. I started dabbling in guitar when I was 3. I got my first guitar
Wow.
when I was 6. I got my first Les Paul when I was 11, and I've dabbled in the world of real work, as you see
Mhm.
behind me. This
Yeah.
is a serious level construction company,
I love
and
your shirt, by the way.
oh yeah, man, always supporting Ronnie, always
Hey, I
supporting Ronnie.
got Avatar.
Yep,
They're nice fuck. I like them too, man. They just came out with a new single not long ago, right?
yeah, but so you just do what you got to do, man, to survive and go on with this whole pandemic thing. I mean, even the big boys who are out starting to tour again are finding it hard to make ends meet and pay their people. I've had
Yeah,
conversations with a few folks. I have a lot of friends in the industry, and even though things are back up and kind of running, it's not healthy.
it's not, no. And I've got to say, like restaurants and music took the hardest hit
Hmm.
out of. I don't know. It's hard. That's probably selfish to say because I'm in the business in that sense, but like my construction part of my job, we didn't slow down, but like
Oh
we
my
didn't
God,
even stop. We
we've never
were
missed a beat, man. It's been
right.
ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, I've never worked so many hours in my life as I have this year,
Hmm.
right? In the heart of lockdown, blah blah blah. Yeah, right. I've been to Thunder Bay all the way to fucking. We were way out east, and then we were all the way to St. Catharines in London. Like I've been all over Ontario, and we're
Yeah.
on lockdown working. But to
Yeah.
be able to drive to your house and do this interview in person, like I love to do the show is in person. I cook dinner, we eat, we drink, we do the show. Can't do it, man.
It would
But
have been
yeah.
really cool. I got a nice in-ground pool in my backyard. We could have hung
Oh,
out
what?
there. Oh hell yeah, it
Oh
would have been
man.
nice.
Next year, baby. Next year,
There you
man.
go. There you go.
The
Yeah,
world's
yeah.
opening up, and then I will work a whole season. I have the winter to tour around and do the show. Like my seasons will probably come in the winter time when I'm not working, and I'll just
Right, right. I understand that.
crush all summer, all season, right?
Right.
And then it's road trip for 4 months, baby. Going to go come to your house, drink some
There you
beers,
go.
eat
There you go.
dinner,
That's
do a
good.
live interview, man, and then I can go see my
Absolutely.
buddies down in Texas with Cauterized, have drinks with them. Bridge City Burners out of Alabama, right? Like,
Hmm.
I can't wait.
Make it happen.
Yeah. But that's the thing, you followed your dream, so
Yeah.
obviously you got to give and you got to take and you
Hmm.
sacrifice. Is there any regrets? This is something I've never talked about on the show. Regrets to say, no, I'm making this album and it cost me this, and this, whether
Hmm.
it was personal or anything like that. Like, it. This is
No.
what you were supposed to do, right? Like,
Yeah. This is what I was wired for back at the body shop before I came out.
mhm.
Um, there's no regrets in what I've. Hey, I'm sitting here. I turned professional, seriously professional in '99. And since then, I've personally been on and put out 23 albums.
Yeah, that's
So,
amazing, man.
yeah, well, one of the things when I say I was wired for it, I mean, I produce too. I'm constantly producing. I've done 54 albums of either engineering or producing since 2006.
Hmm.
Um, so I'm constantly into it. There's never a minute that I really have quiet. I'm not the kind of person that goes home in the evening, sits down, puts his feet up on the coffee table, and with the
Yeah,
remote and sits there, clicks through the channels. I don't do that. You
I
know,
don't even own a TV, man. I've never
yeah,
owned a TV in my life, right? It's always been music. And then this is the first time I've ever owned a computer. And I only reason why I bought that is for streaming. The
Right.
guys at work are laughing. They're like looking at my graphics card. Like, you can't even play Minecraft. I'm like, it's not for playing Minecraft, motherfucker. It's for doing this
Yeah.
right here. You
Yeah.
know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Yeah.
so,
Trust me, I get it, man. I'm constantly listening to music. When I'm out on job sites, I have a little JBL Bluetooth speaker with me that I carry around that kicks
yeah,
ass, and you know,
I've been
but
banned from the radio at work. Nobody wants to listen to what I'm hearing, but it's at work anyway. They're all country and dance music. There's
yeah,
no anything I put on with a guitar or screamo. Oh, what are you talking about? You know what I mean? You have
yeah.
no clue, bud. Fucking
They can keep their soulless stuff,
yeah. Like
you
there's
know.
some tunes that they play that has that beat, you get going. It's music,
Well,
right?
yeah.
But the problem is they won't listen to what I play either. Like I'll listen to your shit. I know your songs. Some of your songs have made it on my playlist. You know, but
Right.
why am I not allowed? Because you just think it's death, fucking hail Satan, fucking. You know, it's not though. You know, like your songs. As I say this, fucking bats in the bell how. I
Oh,
almost
Bats in the
thought I read
Belfry.
it wrong.
Bats in the Belfry.
Please explain that tune a little bit to us because that's off the new album, right? So
Yeah. That's a great one, actually. It Hines Freed, the girl who sings in the band, and I have been friends for forever. And she's one of those really good souls, and she's great to work with because she's so creative. Um, I had met her through producing an album for her band back in 2010, and then she wanted to do another album in 2013, so she had me produce it again. And then her and I wrote a little bit on the side as well for stuff that I was doing solo wise. And when the right time came, and the original singer, like I said, I was married to, we divorced, and you can imagine if you divorce, there's not going to be her in a band. So
no.
boom, that kind of went out. I got another girl to sing because Holly was busy. That girl only lasted one album. Then I got the girl that I really wanted, who I really wanted in the band, even back when I was married. After I heard her sing, I thought to myself, there's got to be a way,
No,
So,
right?
so, but Bats in the Belfry writing, and she had called me up, and she's like, I'm stumped. I think Bats in the Belfry might have been like the next to last tune that we wrote, and she was
I
like, "Oh, the
loved it.
topics,
I played it twice in a row, man. When I came on the list, it was I think
yeah."
the third song when I had time to listen. I was like, yeah, put it
Well,
back. I'm
she
listening to that
wanted a
one again.
song. She said, "I want a song that's kind of got a Nightwish feel or an Iron Maiden feel," and I said,
Yeah.
"Okay." And so I gave her some music, and she loved it. And she came up with the melody, but she couldn't come up with the lyrics. So we looked at the album content-wise, lyrically, and I said, "Hey, you don't have anything on there about anybody crazy like you did the last album. Her last album before that, it was about this other person that just all kinds of crazy stuff." And so that's how Bats like literally. I said, "You need something about somebody crazy." A half hour later, she called me up. She goes, "Okay, I'm done."
It's over. Got it written, man. Fucking.
Yeah, it was just that. Her and I just have a great way of working together. There's never, when one of us gets kind of a writer's block, the other one will just kind of urge the other one along, and it just happens.
Yeah. No, that's something you can only dream of in that sense when it comes to this business, like
Right.
it's hard to come to that easy agreement. Oh, fuck, you changed my song,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
like that's my song. No, it's our song, man. We're all on a fucking team here.
Yeah.
So
She's
it's nice to
she's
see
a
that, man.
blessing to work with, man. She's amazing.
Yeah. Now I was gonna say I've always pictured my co-host, this show being with a co-host and stuff, and always pictured a female. I've been through
Right.
a few, like you said, you get whether it's a singer, drummer, co-host, you know. So right now, I'm back to being solo, but we're teaming up with the Stoner Daisy crew, or story Stoner Daisies crew out of South Africa when I head down there. So we'll see
That's
where
cool.
that goes. They got a great show. I post a lot of share a lot of their stuff on my channel, right?
Right.
They also do Daily Delight, which is a CBD organization out of the States here.
Right.
They'll mail you all your CBD needs and shit, right?
Wow. Nice.
So we're making waves. We're getting noticed, right? So
It's little steps first, man.
yeah, no, 100%. And with
Yeah.
the internet, I
Yep.
guess now, like when you guys first got noticed through the internet, poof, you exploded.
Hmm.
Now you almost get drowned out because there's a million of those things out there now, like
Yeah.
has it kind of gone the opposite way for you with the internet
No, I
from
mean,
when it first started, or are
we
you
had some.
guys still right up there, right?
No, I mean, we still do okay. I mean, things aren't like they were, back in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
We went really hard from 2004 to about 2012, and then there were some things that happened um, inside of the band,
Hmm.
that were
That's a long
kind of.
time to be in the studio on the road doing your tours, playing these shows, and then 2 weeks off, and then you got to write a new album.
Mhm.
Like that takes its toll, man. Like some
Oh, it
people
does.
can't even do the shit for a year. You know what I mean? And they're
Yeah.
over, right?
Yeah. See, we concentrated on Europe. I can't say we concentrated on Europe because Europe came and got us.
Hmm.
And so that became our focal point, and things went really well there. But, then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the girl who was the singer in the band decided she wanted to try to have a family. And that kind of put, some pressure inside of the band
Oh,
a little bit. And then she wanted
yeah,
to become a little more poppy and that's inside of the band a little bit. Um,
yeah.
and
We got
she,
something for all those kinds of needs.
yeah, yeah, you know,
Right.
she, that's just the way that it worked. And so the band lost a little steam between 2014 and about a year and a half ago, and we've built some steam back up. But it's going to be whatever it's going to be. We're still going to make music. This is what I do. If I'm not making music with Hydrogen, I'm doing my own solo stuff. And if I'm not doing that, I'm producing other people. So my life is literally music 24/7, and I'm one of the fortunate ones that can say that.
Yeah. No, it's true. I'm 50-50 now. I've like, and then actually, when I go to South Africa, when I finally fly, 100% it's the show every day. We'll be
Yeah,
broadcasting live, whether it's just me in the morning sitting by it at a draft or some shit, fucking drinking
right.
a beer. We're fucking, but how it's so hard to juggle that when you're in between that stage, right? And,
Hmm. Oh, even like with my situation now, I enjoy the job that I do now too, and I
mm,
just, I find a way to juggle the two of them. I don't let either one
yeah,
of them suffer. I don't have a whole lot of a personal life, but that's okay because music's what I love to do. So while everybody's worrying about where to go eat at night and what movie to go see,
mhm.
I'm in the studio just cranking,
Oh yeah,
and
I'm the
love it.
same though. Like I'm not rushing to the theater. I'm not going out every week for dinner. What are we gonna eat? What's this? What's that? I don't have
Right.
this monster house to pay for. I just rent.
Hmm. Hmm.
It lives life simple in that sense.
Oh yeah, that's the way I
And then,
like to keep it.
yeah, like everything I own, I could probably fit on a plane,
Right.
and fucking go wherever, right? But some people
Well,
don't get that though. They gotta buy that house in the subdivision, gotta have that SUV and that minivan. Kids gotta be in soccer. Kids gotta do this and that. Fuck, next thing you're fucking spending more than you make.
yep. It happens to a lot of people. I mean, I in my life throughout everything, I ended up having family. I've got a daughter, and uh, I've got two grandkids, and so life's really good that way. I don't have any. I'm fortunate um,
Mhm.
to be able in that situation to be able to do what I do. My daughter supports what I do. She's always supported what I've done. Um, my grandson, I think, has been bitten by the music passion. So I told her, I said, "You're about to see it firsthand, sister." And
Yeah.
you know, so So, I'm very fortunate in a lot of ways. When I ended up getting divorced in 14, as soon as it happened, all my stress left, man. I just, nothing against her. It just, obviously it just wasn't for me. So,
Well,
it is what it
no,
is, and I'm
there's
enjoying
always
life.
nothing lasts forever in that sense. You know what I mean? Sometimes it does, but very rare. That's a gem. I've really noticed that I've talked about it lots on the show. Like my papa went to war for 28 months, and Mima was still there, waiting for him at home.
Yeah.
Nowadays, no way, man. They're on Tinder. They're on fucking this and that, swiping left and right. Fuck you, man. After 3 weeks, because my job takes me like shit. I was in Thunder Bay this year for 2 straight months, basically,
Right.
right? Who's
Right.
gonna fucking be at home when you get home after 2 months of not being home? Like,
No.
don't happen. But my passions are this channel and my job just to make money to pay for this channel. So, if you don't have a
Well,
passport, fuck, sorry about your luck,
man,
man. Like, I gotta go.
yeah.
Right? Like,
Well, you're lucky. You've got a passion. So many people out there. I'd say probably 85% or greater, maybe a little bit greater than 85% of the people out in the world today, they don't have a passion. They don't even really understand what
no,
passion means. And I feel sorry for those people.
they just go to their 9 to 5 or their factory job, their bank job. They
Yeah.
come home, they pay their cable bill. You know what I mean? Like, you obviously, you get that. Like,
Yeah.
it's amazing how many people are trapped in that cycle, and that's kind of where we are at. That state in the world we're in. Oh,
I call it
pandemic,
sheepitis.
sheepitis. That's it.
Yeah.
Fuck,
Everybody's
man.
a sheep.
I'll give you $1 every time I use it on the show. You should
Oh,
copyright
dude, you use the hell out of it. I mean,
that. Yeah,
just
fuck.
but that's what it is. I mean, it's just like it's as simple as like driving up to a red light, right? So you're driving along, here comes a red light, and you see all these cars lined up at this red light, but in the lane right next to it, there isn't a single one. Why the fuck do all those cars line up behind each other?
You just
I
follow the
mean,
line, right?
that
Right.
but see that's
All,
just it.
all the
Everybody just
herd.
it's like having a cat and get one of those little LED lights out and shine it on the wall
Mhm.
and watch the cat go nuts trying to chase the light. That's what everybody does. It blows my mind.
Hey, that's a good way to put that, man. Like, just
Yeah,
kind of fucking wow.
yeah.
That's deep. You just made me kind of pause and not have nothing to say for a sec. I just kind of want to think about that. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Yeah.
Before I take off, the people I live with, they're immigrants and stuff, and the conversations we have sometimes, it's like, where's your passion, right? Like,
Yeah.
and they just bought a van and redid it all, made it so they can live in it in the winter and do road
Oh,
trips. That's their passion. You know what I mean? Like, fucking. Now I'm like, I could live in a van. you
oh
know,
yeah, yeah.
right?
Have done a
Why
lot
do
of
I
living in
need
vans.
like being in construction? We build these giant houses. Every time we're building them, I'm like, this is for people that hate their family, right? You never have to see your kid, or your wife because you're in the den and she's way the fuck over here, and you got
So you're not building a house, you're
30,000
building a compound.
basically is what you're doing, like
Right,
nobody
right.
lives in that little shack where you gotta have bunk beds and shit, like I remember living. My mom's bought the house after my parents got divorced or whatever,
Hmm. Hmm.
and we she bought the house, had to rent the whole downstairs out so we could even afford to live in this house, and the three of us lived in a 4-roomed fucking place, right? So
Right.
obviously my sister, my mom's get their own room. I slept in the living room till fucking high school. Like people
It's
don't
just the way.
appreciate what they have,
Yeah,
right? Like
exactly,
the
exactly.
little things.
It is the
So
little
that's
things.
so what are the little things that get you up then in the morning while
Oh
we're on this
man.
subject? Like, is
Um,
it watching the sunrise, drinking that coffee?
I don't drink coffee. No.
I don't either, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, thank you, man. I'm like 1 in a million, right?
Yeah. I love the morning time. I do love the early morning. And I'm so used to seeing the early morning from being on tour because, I mean, we toured years and years and years and years straight.
Yeah.
And, you know, so I'm so used to seeing the sun come up most of the time, you know, not because I was getting up then. Normally we were crashing out then.
Time to go to sleep. Sun's coming up.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, so, but I love the early morning. But what gets me, I want to get to that next song. You know, I really do. I go to bed thinking about, okay, what's next tomorrow in a studio, you know, or if I'm in a writing session, I think about, you know, what am I going to do with that piece of music? I mean, those are the kinds of things that keep me going. You know, that's just being real simple, but it's also being completely honest.
Where I'm at now too, like I teamed up with Roxy, and then she passed just recently, right? And now I'm just getting back, but it's who's the next band? You know, who am I going to talk to tomorrow? Who can I have on the show this week? And this conversation right here has pushed me that much further and has helped me kind of get past that loss and bring it to the level that her and I envisioned the show to be together. You know what I mean?
Right.
So
yeah.
I appreciate you talking to me tonight, man. I really like it. Thank you.
Hey, dude, I'm just glad you're alive. I was so concerned about last Friday when nobody heard from you. You know, Sam and everybody's like, hey, have you heard from him? I'm like, no, he might be dead. I don't know. It's like, I really don't know.
Right. Like the worst part was like I broke my phone. So I get home and like finally set my computer up because, as I said, I just moved and I'm locked out of everything. Because I'm on a new internet. I'm on this. I'm like, oh my God. So my friend Hollywood, one of our good friends, or one of our biggest fans, actually, she offered up, send the code here and I'll send it to you. Poof. Got my code back into my email, back into this. It's like, okay, man, I'm so sorry. Right? But
did you feel like for a minute somebody set you out on an island that wasn't charted?
Yeah. It's true though, man. But the weird part is now, since I broke my phone, I don't have a phone all day now. Everything's at home in this office per se.
Yeah.
It's so peaceful, man. Like I have all day to think about, I've got my show tonight. I've got to do this. You know what I'm not just constantly pulling my fucking phone out. Everyone, why are you working? I am working, but I'm not working, you know, like it's changed my world. I feel so free at work now in that sense. I can concentrate on what I'm doing, not worried about talking to this person or that person. But when I get home, double time now. Now I got
it's a shit show for about an hour.
Fucking messages. Who do I even want to talk to? You know.
Yeah.
But I knew definitely tonight it was you and me, right? Made sure I talked to Sam. So let's give a huge shout out to Sam.
Absolutely.
Please explain your relationship with her and what she does, and then I'll go into how I know her and stuff. Right?
Well, Sam does a lot of things. I mean, you know, Sam has been hooking me up with interviews and things of that nature for, God, I don't know, the last 5 years. So she's pretty instrumental in my weekly life. I mean, you know, I'll get, you know, like I get messages from her out of the blue. Hey, I got an interview for you, blah, blah, blah. Can you do it? Yes or no? And I answer and it goes on and it happens, you know, and so she does that. And she's a big part of RFL Records too, which, you know, I'm a part of as an artist and a little bit behind the scenes, you know, and she's a big part of that too. She drives the engine of the PR and what goes on with that. And so, you know, Sam's just, she's a behind the scenes person who's connected and just really keeps the motor running.
Really noticed that since I've met her, kind of like obviously beyond my level. I'm here, she's up here, right? But for knowing people, this is someone who knows everybody in that sense.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely. She's great. I mean, you know, she's one of those people that, you know, you've got the whole cog, right? You've got the cog that runs the engine, and she's so quiet and does her job so well that you don't really notice that she's there. But if she's not there and all of a sudden one cog's missing, you're going to notice it really quick.
Oh, all of a sudden this fucking you skip a gear and
Yeah,
it's over,
yeah,
right?
absolutely,
Yeah. And she's always
absolutely.
worked hand in hand with me. We've always tried to work our schedules and stuff, and with my job, sometimes you don't fucking get home till 8 or 9 at night. It's like I
Yep.
had an interview at 8. I was home on time, but I couldn't get my
You just
fucking
didn't have
email stuff
anything.
to unblock, man. I was like, oh my God, right? It was a couple days before I got back to you and her and be like, oh fuck, I'm so sorry, man. This is what
Yeah.
happened, right?
Oh man, I was never so glad to hear from somebody in my whole life.
Someone, thank you, man. I
Yeah.
appreciate that, man. I know she was like, oh man, we were so worried, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was like, oh fuck, but
I was getting on
hey,
my Facebook Messenger and looking at the message just to see if you'd read it yet. I was like, damn, he still hasn't read
mhm.
it. I wonder what's happened.
Yeah, yeah. No, I apologize. That was all
Nah.
kind of my neglect of my phone. It fell out of my pocket. Fucking down it went, right? It fell
Yeah,
pretty far. So,
shit happens.
ah, yeah. When it comes to phones, I don't value it. Like I'm not paying $600 for a fucking phone. So,
Right.
you know,
I
but
get it.
yet when I do break it, it's like, oh fuck, that's my whole life right there, gone. So my whole business until I get home, it's over, right?
Well, like you said, there's a little bit of peace to that, though.
Mm-hmm. So we'll get into a real question here. What is new
Okay.
for you guys? You guys have the new album out and stuff. Obviously, the world's opening up.
Mm-hmm.
Are you guys
Well,
going on tour very soon, or are you guys going to chuck out a couple EPs? What's happening?
we're actually going to chuck out a couple of EPs.
Yeah.
So um, back in July or early August, I think it was late July, Holly had to have a tumor removed from the base of her brain. And right, so we knew that was coming. It was a serious emergency type situation. When doctors like, we need to get this fucking thing out of here.
Yeah,
And
we just found
um,
it. It's got to go,
yeah,
right?
yeah. So we got together real quick, unannounced, and went down to Huntsville and played live and recorded a live album.
Huntsville,
Yeah,
Huntsville,
Huntsville,
Kentucky.
Alabama.
Oh,
Huntsville,
Alabama. I was
Alabama.
gonna say there's a
Yeah,
Huntsville here in Ontario too. So I was like,
yeah. No, Huntsville, Alabama.
yeah,
So we
okay,
went down there and recorded a live album. That album has been mixed, and we're going to break it up and release it into a. It's actually going to be a 3-part release. There's going to be 2 EPs. Each EP is going to have like 5 or 6 live songs on it and a brand new studio track. And then the last release is going to come out, and we haven't quite decided yet, but it's leaning toward the last one that's going to fit it all together. It's going to be on vinyl, and you'll be able to get the whole show on that. And
vinyl. Oh
yeah,
man, I've always asked. I love the vinyl, the old school fucking
well,
needle
yeah.
and thread, baby.
Oh,
It's
absolutely, absolutely.
right.
So that's where we're at. She's still healing. Um,
Yeah.
they went in and got the tumor. Everything, the surgery went way better than they expected. They had to go
Oh,
in and they cut from right behind her ear down her jawbone to right about here, and then like
oh
a
no,
fillet,
eh?
they just opened her up and went up and got it. Came back out. Didn't have to impact any nerves. So her,
No.
she had a little bit of a
Wow.
droop in her face for a while because of it, but that's her face is coming back.
Yeah.
But the scary thing was they didn't think anything of it, and they sent it off to get it tested. Come to find out, that thing was cocooned by a membrane that was just holding nothing but like different types of cancer.
Wow. See,
So
I'm a survivor as well, kind of the same, not the same circumstance. Mine was testicular,
yeah,
but within the 3 weeks of me noticing and then actually getting checked out, it was
mm-hmm.
everywhere. So yeah, my scars top to bottom. I've talked about it a few times on the show. I've lost every major organ, missing a lung, most of my heart. Fucking so to be spontaneously throwing this cancer fucking word onto you. I got a
Yeah.
brain tumor. I didn't have a brain tumor. That would have probably fucking scared the shit out of me. You know what I mean?
Well, come to
Like,
find out, they said that that thing had been there since she was born.
wow, eh? See,
So
with mine as
42
well,
years in.
they told me it was genetic. You were genetically engineered to have this type of cancer. But
Really?
because you didn't find out until this time, it's too late now. You're dead, basically. Same idea, like, it's over. But you can
Right.
sign here and do some experimental shit and you're
Yeah.
all good. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, sure, right. Took a
Right.
long time,
Right.
bud. But that's
But
that's
here you are,
fantastic to
man. And
hear.
that's what the great thing
Yeah,
about it is. Here we are
right.
talking.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
know.
if you didn't say anything about her, I would have never said nothing about I'm
Oh,
usually
and
pretty
it's fine that
quiet
you said
about it,
something about. I mean, I'm glad to see, even though it got you a little bit, it looks like you have, reversed it and kicked its ass, and that's very
Yeah.
uplifting.
Well, I've been it sounds funny to say I've been clean or cancer free. I always say clean
Right. Right.
for almost 20 years now, man. It would have been
Yeah.
99 I was diagnosed. I spent 3 years fighting and surgeries and this and that, right? Oh, we got Kyla,
How you,
photographer.
pronounce-
She is,
how you pronounce the one girl's name? Sireasa? Sarisa?
yeah, Serena.
Well,
No,
there's an S. There's an
no,
S
there's
down there,
no
not
R.
an N.
No, you're right. You're right.
So, Sarisa, if you're still listening, am I pronouncing that right? Let me know.
She's a good friend too, actually. That's how I met Roxy, my old co-host, before she passed away there, right? So
Oh, she passed away.
yeah, yeah. I was heading there November 22nd, to meet up with her, and her and I do interviews in person, and we're doing this and that. We were kind of, I guess, internet seeing each other or whatever the case was, plus co-host. But then when she passed away, she had heart problems on some other meds and stuff, right? And uh, ended up passing away right before my birthday. Actually, it was the week before I came home or whatever, right? So,
No, I'm sorry to hear that, man.
yeah, it did. It hit me hard. I was surprised because after everything I've been through, you kind of turn off all your feelings because you get to know people in the chemo room, and then next day they're not there, and they're never back again because they pass. So you kind of move past death, you would think, right? But that one hit close home, and that was real close. But I don't even know where I'm going with my story now. But she'll be missed. She'll be loved forever for sure, right?
Right.
But
Absolutely.
oh yeah, so I was flying to the Philippines. Her and I were teaming up and doing like swimming with the whale shark, starting the travel network, right? So when she passed, Stoner Daisies and them reached out to me because I helped them get going and stuff. And they're like, how about you come to South Africa, cover this metal fest? We'll kind of help you get past, pick you up, give you something to look forward to, right?
Well, it
So,
sounds cool. I mean, it sounds great.
yeah. So fortunate that way. A lot
Right.
of people come out of unexpected. People I thought were going to be there for me when that shit happens weren't there. And the other people that I never thought would be there ended up stepping up and helping me through it. And then,
Right.
like I said, you're one of the few interviews I've had since her death. 'Cause I just haven't been in the mood. I haven't felt that because she's always kind of been with me in the
Mhm.
last few months, right?
Oh, I totally get that. Totally
Yeah.
understandable.
No, I appreciate that. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Cheers.
So what's on the agenda tomorrow morning, bud? Obviously it's a
Well,
weekday, fucking Wednesday. Or yeah,
yeah.
Wednesday's tomorrow,
Yeah.
yeah.
Right now, I'm in the process of doing. I can't mention any names, but I'm in the process of doing a mastering job for a major recording artist. So when I get up in the morning after sleeping all night, I'll get up for an hour or so, let my ears warm up, and go listen to the work that I did today,
Yeah.
and see what it sounds like, and maybe we'll be passing it on to that artist tomorrow to get their feedback, and then after that, I'll come into work here for a little while, and then when I'm done with work, I'll go back to the studio and I start recording solo album number 3 tomorrow.
So on average, you have your music, you have your work, then your music.
Mhm.
How long is your average day?
About 19 hours.
Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm about the same. Yeah. I'll work
Yeah.
anywhere between 9 to 12, 13 hours. And then I do the backstage stuff. You're talking to these people. You're talking to those
Mhm.
people. People,
Yeah.
you know, why are you so tired? What the fuck did
Yeah.
you do when you went home? You know what I mean? Like, did you write a whole album? No. You know, like,
Yeah.
not to
Oh, yeah.
brag or bitch or chew or piss and moan, as we said earlier. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? But
Yeah.
like,
No,
all right.
I sleep about 4.5 hours a night. If I get 4.5 hours a night, um, I'm satisfied with that, and I can operate on 4.5 hours very effectively. And then somewhere in the afternoon between 3 and 5, I'll crash for 30 minutes. That's like an 8 hour
Yeah,
sleep for
a
me.
nap.
And then and then
Love
I'll
it.
get back up and I'll go until 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning. And
Mhm.
because a lot of the people I work with are overseas, like the people from New Zealand are like they're 16 hours ahead.
Mhm.
So
Even
we're literally talking to each other. It's always me talking like on a Tuesday. They're already into Wednesday.
no,
You know,
right?
yeah.
I've
So
tried to hook up with a promotion company out of Australia, but the time difference and my work and their schedule, it's fucked. It's not happening. Like, I
it's
can't
tough,
do it,
man.
man. Like, it to do the time. I'm not getting up at 3 in the morning to go to work at 5 to do an interview for 3. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just not happening, man. I can't do it right now.
This I am aware of.
No, and I can see you feel the pain. You've been there, you've done it, you've done your time. You're
Yeah.
a bit older. I'm 41. I know you said you're 50 now, right? Or
Yeah.
50,
Yeah.
50 some.
55.
55, eh? Fuck, you look
Yeah.
great for 55, my friend.
I picked the right drug, dude.
Yeah, yeah. That's what I always say. It was the booze and drugs that preserved me, man. I always get, oh, you're 30 plus. Ah, fuck, man. I'm almost fucking 42, man.
Yeah.
You know, I'm going gray though. I'm
Hey,
getting to where I'm gonna smoke cigars and be distinguished soon, man.
yeah. Well, hey, I've had gray hair in my head since I was in my 20s.
Yeah,
So, I've been getting my hair doctored ever since I was in my early 20s. But part of the reason I look the way I do, my mom has incredible genes. My mom's like 84 years old and she looks like she might be in her 60s. Um,
oh wow,
yeah, she's got amazing gene pool going there, and I've
yeah,
never smoked. I've never I drink a little bit. I've never done drugs,
yeah,
so I'm not your stereotypical musician kind of person.
yeah.
So that's and I've always
So
eaten really good. So
obviously, okay, if you don't drink and you say no drugs, what do you consider your drugs then? Like anything and everything that's like even caffeine, you know what I mean? Or
no, when I'm talking drugs, I'm talking coke, heroin,
yeah,
meth,
yeah, you
whatever you
should
want to
always
call.
stay away from meth for sure.
Yeah,
That was my
yeah,
problem growing up through school. When
right.
when that came around, it was like, you know what I mean? But that all definitely you can't do that. But like even like smoking weed or
Yeah, none
the
of it. None
occasional
of it.
mushroom, nothing. Eh?
No, no. My high has always been a piece of wood and six strings.
No way.
Yeah,
That's amazing, man. That's hard to come by. Like very rare do you meet someone that hasn't done this or had a problem with that in that sense, right? Where I've been through it all. I've been through meth addiction and drug addiction. I've
right,
recently come to the conclusion I might be an alcoholic. I'm on the verge of just not drinking, not smoking, not doing this or that. Like, but I
right.
got to go to the woods for a month to get rid of that, you know, before I can come back and hang out with these people or those people or people I think are my friends. But on the same end, if I didn't drink and I didn't party, would I even hang out with these people in that sense? You know, like,
That's a good question.
right? Like, how do you determine that, right? Like,
Yeah. Well, I think the only way you determine that is by putting yourself in a situation.
yeah,
Doing what you said. I think it's kind of funny. You say I got to go out to the woods for a month and I'll come back. But hey, if that's what it takes, that's what it takes. But it's
yeah,
there's always quick ways of learning who your friends are and who your friends aren't. And I learned a long time ago that if you honestly can say by the end of your life that you had 3 to 5 people that you could seriously call a friend, you're a
Mhm.
fortunate individual.
Yeah. I know for sure my buddy Chad, great tattoo artist too. A huge shout out to him. I've known him since I first moved to Ontario in Dundalk, actually.
Right. Right.
I've known him since all the way through fucking school, high school, all the way through life. The guy gave me a place to stay when I first came back to Canada, right?
Right.
Um, and there's
Kyla
maybe
McCall,
two
thank
or
you very
three
much for
more.
that statement. That was nice. Sorry.
Oh yeah. No, no. Fuck, she's another number one fan. She does all my photography too when I'm playing guitar and shit like that.
No, she made it
We
was a
just
very sweet
teamed up
statement.
with her. She is doing a paranormal investigation throughout Ontario for us. So I think once a month or every other week, she'll have a new blog about going to this place or that place. It's
Right.
haunted, He's a ghost. The Boneyard. You got to kind of bring some dark shit to it, right?
Oh, absolutely. But a guy, I have another band that I have that I do. It's called Urakai. It's Urakia, and the lead singer in that band is the lead investigator on Deep South Paranormal that was on the Discovery Channel.
No way.
Yeah, Keith
So,
Ramsey's his name. So I've gone on hunts with Keith. I know what it's all
well,
about.
let's we'll get Kayla, yourself, him, and I. Maybe we'll do a little podcast, just fucking
Absolutely,
talking
love
mad
to.
shit. I know she would freak out if we did that. She'd be so
Yeah,
excited.
yeah. Keith's a great individual. You guys love him. He's a Southern boy. He's got Southern
Yeah.
charm. He's just really cool.
So before we kick it, call it a night or whatever,
Right?
Kyle obviously says absolutely. Let's
Yeah.
make it happen.
We'll take you up on that, girl.
Yeah. Some of your local bands, who are like some of the guys within your area or the bands in your area that we should be listening to that we should check out?
Well, there's a dude around here that at one time really had it going on. He's still got it going on, but he quit pushing as hard. His name's Jason Mays. And he had a band out for a while that's called Split Nixon that really, really, really good. They had a couple albums released. And he's a phenomenal musician. He's got the Jason Mays band now, and they're really good. There's another band around here that's kind of got the Motorhead feel, and the name of that band is called the Black Knots. And they wow, they're really good. They're an honest band. They come out and kick your ass and go on.
Yeah.
And then we have a girl right now who's on The Voice, Holly Forbes, who's from here, and she's currently on The Voice and doing really, really well. And she's got an interesting story. We don't have enough time to get into it here, but
Yeah.
it's really good to see a girl.
Next show.
Yeah. It's really good to see somebody like Holly. Not like Holly. I mean, she's freaking phenomenal, but it's really nice to see her getting a break and doing well. And as far as any other bands around here, I don't go out to the clubs. I don't pay attention to the local scene that much because I stay so busy in what I do.
Yeah.
But that's especially with the pandemic, nobody's been able to play out.
Oh,
There's some solo people here and there that do well, but other than that, I don't really know. There was one band that used to be really good. It's called RCR, and that band had the guitar player that now is my guitar player with me in Hydrogen, a really good friend of mine, Ryan Stepp. They were good, but they broke up, and so I benefited by getting Ryan. So that's about it. All that I've got for around here. But if you get a chance to find Jason Mays, or you can find a Split Nixon album, do yourself a favor.
Check it out, eh? Fuck.
Yeah, it's really good
Love
stuff.
that. I don't know. Lately, I've been bragging. I bring you the local bands from around the world. You know what I mean? So,
Right.
you guys are a local band from the U.S., whether it's Kentucky, Alabama, I guess you guys are now, technically, right?
Right.
Whether you're from fucking Sweden or Denmark, wherever you are, local bands, come on the show. Let's talk about your music. Let's get that shit out there, so.
Absolutely.
I know my plan eventually, I've been talking about it recently, is getting some land down in New Mexico, 20 acres or so. Now we're throwing festivals, right? Now we're having you You know, we're having Cauterize, Late Night Trouble, Last Dance Among Wolves, you know, fucking Dead
Right.
Man's
Right.
Prophecy, fucking 3-day festival, camping, whole deal is happening, man. That's eventually what the Boneyard will become. It's a festival every year, whether it's 1 day, 3 days. I would love to have a 5-day festival, not just a
Oh yeah.
day, right? You know what I mean? But
Oh yeah. I
you
mean, hey
gotta,
man, if that's your goal, you need to put that shit on a sticky note and put it on your mirror. And every morning you get up,
oh,
you see it, and you just keep that generating. I mean, when I did this, everybody told me I was nuts. I quit a job. I was making over $100,000 easily a year. I mean, I was doing
yeah.
that whole bit. I just woke up one morning and said, "Hey, I'm supposed to be doing music, and that's what I'm going to do." And I have never looked back.
Wow, that's it. We talked about this with the band out of Sweden. There, Pressure. They're
Yeah.
like never too old, man. Follow your
No.
fucking dream, or you're not happy, right? Like it just, why am I here? This is what I keep asking in that sense, and this is why I'm here, right here, to have this conversation with you, have the conversation with them, bring
Right.
your music forward. Whether one person, 10 people, 7,000 people, 100,000 people watch it, got to bring it forward. You got to push it. You got to get it out there, right? So
Right. Oh, absolutely. And the age doesn't matter. The first minute you ever tell yourself that you're too old, you were defeated way back and you didn't notice it.
yeah, when you were 17 and had that idea, you're like, I'm too old, right? Like it's over, man. You're right.
Like that line from that UFO song, just a kid with a crazy dream wanted it all before he was 17,
Hmm.
you know? And that's the way it
Yeah,
should be. That's what passion is. Passion
yeah.
doesn't just, develop itself and hit you in late life. You're born with the passion, but it depends on you as a person as to when you.
That's kind of why I always bring up that question. It's probably one of the only, it's a few of the only questions I repeat is like, where does this passion come from? How old were you when you fucking decided music is where I belong, or this is where a majority of my energy is going to go, right? Like,
Well, I was blessed as a kid. At my grandparents' house. My parents were in transition. My dad worked for a company. I don't know if you ever heard of a company called Memorex,
no, I
and
haven't personally, no.
made one of the major first computer copying companies. They did cassette tapes and they did reel to reel tapes for studios. But
What?
he was opening up all these shops across North America, and so I stayed with my grandparents, and my grandparents just music from as old as I can remember. I don't ever
Mhm.
remember not having music. I mean, so much so that my grandfather went under the house and ran a wire into my bedroom so he could put a speaker in my room so I could hear music all the time.
Wow.
And that's what happened. It was my grandparents that made my
Yeah.
life possible. They didn't even realize probably what they were doing, but they made everything that I've done up to this point absolutely possible. If it
Well,
wasn't for those people, it's hard telling what I'd be doing.
funny part with me as well, it came from the southern side of my family with the church and the music and always
Hmm.
singing. Uh,
Hmm.
Even though I'm not part of the church and they kind of outcast me and shit, if it wasn't for them in that sense, I wasn't introduced to music. It was the gospel. It was playing the piano on Sundays and everybody singing the hymns and
Right.
right that.
Right.
But then it was Motorhead. Tell you the truth, man. I always say this. Motorhead was the band that got me into actual fucking music and metal and my passion and where it drives, you know. So
Who better to get you into it, you know?
no, the guy Lenny and fucking Motorhead legends
Yep.
in every aspect of the word. But
Absolutely. Absolutely.
it's I have to pee real bad. So is there anything else we should cover real quick
No,
before I gotta
no,
like
that's
take a
good. I think we covered a lot of ground, just
yeah?
appreciate the hell out of you having me on the show, coming
Oh,
back
perfect.
around after the whole situation happened, which is
Yeah.
perfectly fine. And it was a
Thank you
pleasure.
for understanding, man. You know,
Oh,
like that's
absolutely. Absolutely.
but I'm
So
gonna go ahead, take us off, play it loud, play it proud. Can you hang around for a few minutes? Let me pee real quick and then we'll shoot the shit for a few minutes backstage, man. But
absolutely.
Play it loud, play it proud. Once again, Hydrogen, Jeff, amazing friend of the Boneyard. Huge shout out to Sam for introducing us, and we'll call her quits for the night. Stay tuned for Turbo Steak on Thursday. Another
There you
band
go.
by Sam.
There you
All
go.
right.